Senator Graham, the polls are also showing that Governor Palin has really become a drag on the ticket. More and more Republicans saying she's the reason they won't support John McCain, from Colin Powell to Charles Freed, who was Ronald Reagan's Solicitor General, to Ken Adelman, worked for Ronald Reagan in arms control, and even Senator McCain's good friend, Tom Ridge, the former governor of Pennsylvania, said the other day that McCain would be doing better in Pennsylvania if he picked someone like Tom Ridge. He said it would be, quote, foolish not to admit it publicly. What do you say to your friend Tom Ridge?
Well, I would say to Tom that, quite frankly, Sarah's energized our base better than anybody we could have picked, and we needed that she's been a reform-minded governor, and her resume on paper, if she were a Democratic young governor, she would be the best thing in since sliced bread. She is being treated, I think, very poorly and unfairly. Her accomplishments are real. But as to Colin Powell, I think one of the reasons he didn't want to support Senator McCain is he was worried about the judges that would be picked. And he believes that Senator Obama has a better plan. I don't think you could really have ever been a Republican if you believe raising taxes and increasing spending at this time in our economy is a good idea. And when it comes to judges, they just disagree. Alito and Roberts are the kind of judges that Senator McCain will pick. Governor Palin has helped this party energize, and at the end of the day, it's about the independence, you said, George. There is no better story in America of independence and governing beyond party principles than John McCain. And that's why we're going to win this election.
You've said publicly, it was printed in the Wall Street, the New York Times today, that you thought Joe Lieberman would be a better pick. Do you still stand by that?
So I was pushing Joe because it would transcend politics as we know it. Two people who put country ahead of party. Governor Palin is what John McCain has been trying to do in Washington, she's done in Alaska. She is filing a complaint against a sitting attorney general of your own party with a Democrat takes a lot of guts. Taking on the oil interest, cutting taxes. She is running against an incumbent governor. John sees in her many of the qualities he sees in himself, and if you want to straighten out this broken Congress that people are sick of, the Congress is at 9%. We spend way too much of your money. Bring somebody outside of town who's got a fresh look at government, who's a true reformer, and shake the place up, and Sarah Palin will do that.
Congressman, I want to get to that as well, but your own vice presidential candidate, Joe Biden, was in the headlines again this week and became fodder for a Republican ad with something he said at a campaign event. Take a look.
Listen to Joe Biden talking about what electing Barack Obama will mean.
Mark my words. It will not be 6 months before the world tests Barack Obama. I guarantee you it's going to happen.
It doesn't have to happen. Vote McCain.
Didn't he play into the one issue that could cost Obama this race?
Let me say this, having been in the White House as an advisor to a president, you're going to be challenged every day for 4 years, 24/7. In fact, you're going to have multiple challenges in a single day. And what also Joe Biden said is that Barack Obama has a spine of steel. You've seen it through this campaign. You've seen it in the way he handled the financial crisis, versus what John McCain showed, an impulsive behavior. It was also, and it relates to the question you just asked of Lindsey Graham, I don't think this is a criticism of Sarah Palin. It's a criticism of John McCain. The American people have made a judgment that he has shown basically impulsive, erratic behavior, where both in the financial crisis as well as in the selection of the vice president, Barack Obama has shown the type of steady leadership the American people are asking for in these challenging times. And I would say that you look at what you need to do for a president, you look at the challenges they're going to face for 4 years, and in fact, Barack Obama has shown the qualities the American people are responding to, where the selection of both the vice president and the way John McCain handled the financial crisis, the American people say we can't afford that impulsive, erratic behavior.
Senator Graham, impulsive and erratic?
Oh, spine of steel. That's a new one. This is the man who's gone to Iraq after being absent for 900 days, sat down with General Petraeus, comes back and says the surge still hasn't worked, won't admit it's worked because he's afraid of the left. He's never said anything that MoveOn.org doesn't like. He's never stood up to any member of his own party. Excuse me. He has not acknowledged the surge has worked. He's stubborn about it, and the only reason he can't say it's worked is because he's got MoveOn.org looking over his shoulder. You don't sit down with Iran. You don't ask Georgia to show restraint when they're being run over by the Russians. When he asked Georgia to show restraint and there was equal blame, they were dancing in the Kremlin. Senator Obama's domestic and international policies are ill-suited to the times. You don't raise taxes and increase spending when we're going into a recession, and you don't send signals to the world's worst dictators, let's sit down and have a chat without conditions. Iran said they wouldn't sit down with us until we withdrew from the Mideast and withdrew our support from Israel. They've got conditions. John McCain understands this world far better than Barack Obama understood Iraq, Iran, and Russia. Yeah, Senator Obama would be a very dangerous choice for President of the United States when it comes to foreign policy.
But basically, very fundamental. That is, which candidate represents change and which candidate represents more of the same. And the American people know that on a fundamental economic level, Barack Obama and the Democrats represent change to the Republicans and John McCain, who have offered more of the same of what George Bush had. Second, to the quality of the two individuals. They have shown over the arc of time, and the voters have looked at both of them through the debates and through the campaign, who has a steady leadership to meet the challenges and who has shown an impulsive quality, exemplified by both the selection of the vice president and how they handle the financial crisis.
We're out of time, and I just have a quick question. You've already shown on short lists Congressman Emanuel for White House Chief of Staff if Barack Obama wins. Are you interested?
First of all, you got a big if there. And second of all, let me say this, because we got a lot of work to do in the next 9 days is communicating to the American people. George, you know this. About 6 years ago, the people on the north side of Chicago took a bet on a young kid. The members of Congress representing that district were Dan Rosikowski, Frank Annunzio, Rob Blagojevich, and they took a bet on a kid called Rahm Emanuel.
Now he's got gray hair.
And now I got gray hair, and I started this at 6'2" and 250 pounds. This is all I got left. So I'm looking forward to representing the people of the north side of the city of Chicago.
It's about the answer I expected. Thank you both very much. Now we